Yo, what is going on, everyone? We're back here with another episode. This might be the end of the season. It might not. We might have another game depending on how this season turns out. So we're gonna jump into. We got some upgrades here, and we got quite a few of offensive line and corners, which is really good. So Madison is really becoming a good player, but his ratings don't fully show it. He's got good lead, impact, strength, and then his run block and pass block are good. But if you look at the more detailed, the finesse, the power for both run and pass, they're really low. So I'm gonna keep working on him, and because I want to stay a scheme fit, we're gonna go agile and get that up by another one as he gets slightly better. And there's some finesse with the run block in there, so a little bit better. His finesse is up to now an 82, so that's really good. Next up, Minka Fitzpatrick. Overview here. I think we upgraded him last time at the beginning of the episode, and he got some pretty good upgrades to the zone to kind of balance him out. And we're going to go zone again because we're trying to get him a scheme fit, and it looks like he does become a +3 to zone. Now this should really help finish developing Fitzpatrick here. Xavier Howard, he just got signed to a nice 4-year contract himself. Better man coverage corner, but just kind of balanced all around. Because of that, I want to get his zone a little bit higher before we bump his man up. As he goes up by a couple. And we're really going to have to work on that man coverage here soon. And as far as Laramie Tunsil, he got a nice contract. Really good pass blocker overall. And looks like we're going to go with, let's put some power on him, because he's got to be able to stop that bull rush coming from the outside, some of these guys. As he goes up pretty solid in each category there and becomes a little more well-rounded. It looks like we take a loss here. Offense really not able to get anything going, as Carson Wentz throws for 232 and 2 touchdowns, and it looks like LaFell got 2 touchdowns himself. 50% completion, so not a great game there for us. Running the ball looks like we struggled pretty mightily and did not pay off for us. Receiving, they crushed us. Parker had a good game. Kenny Stills finally getting into the end zone after struggling at the beginning of the season, and guess it gets one. Defensively, Howard and McDonald, top 2 tacklers. I don't like seeing our defensive backs there. Tackle for loss, we had 3 by Quinn, 1 by Spence. Morgan Fox got in there. Corey Thompson and Griffin Marshall, our rookie, gets a stop. And then sacks, 1 for Spence, 1 for Alonzo. And our pick was Xavier Howard. And with Xavier Howard getting 10 tackles and the pick, he earns Player of the Week for the AFC defense. And we got another upgrade. Madison just gets upgrades like crazy, and not because I think the sliders are good, because he's a rare occasion. I've had these same sliders, XP sliders, in another franchise, and he's already better than any O-line that I've had starting for 5-6 years. And it's just because he's got that superstar development. My other guys have that quick and normal. One had star and got up to an 87 overall. So I think he's just because he requires so little XP that he's able to really get those nice boosts here and develop a little bit quicker, which I don't think is overpowered. I don't think he'll reach a 90. As he goes for power, he gets a +1 to strength, and he gets pass block and 1 to each of the power, pretty much 1 in each category, which is really good. Bumps his overall up to an 83, and now this is now that he's a scheme fit and everything, he's really going to start to take off, and we'll see a more well-rounded player here. So Madison is looking terrific. And we drop another game. Offense doing a little bit better, at least the passing. This time we drop it to the Giants, who Nemo, our man that we wanted, that we didn't trade up for. And LaFell really doing it out here. Both of them good games, similar I mean, they both had 2 touchdowns, not similar numbers, because Nemo definitely outperformed the undrafted rookie. Wayne Gallman really had a good game against us, so Shaquan Barkley must be injured. Kenyon Drake, kind of a subpar game here. Balaj seemed to struggle, and if we bring AV back next year, I think he needs to get more carries. Wilson, big game, 6 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown. A lot of their guys went off against us. Kenny Stills had 4 for 63, Gesick, and then Devontae Parker picks up a touchdown. Defensively, our leading tackler was Thomas Davis, who had a great game. Marshall getting 2 tackles for a loss. Robert Quinn, Godchek, and McMillan here. Now the big question is, we had a big injury come back, and guy we signed this offseason for pretty solid money, as Harris, Philton Quinn get the sacks, and I think there's no INTs. So let's see if he's even on this list real quick. And here he is, Darius Smith, in his first game back this season after partially tearing his MCL in the preseason, in like week 1, comes in and gets just 2 tackles. So I mean, he's kind of come in at the end of the season. I think we're out the playoffs. We're 5-8. I mean, there's still a slim chance depending on what happens this next week coming up. So here with another loss to the Cowboys, offense struggling again. I think our playoff hopes are officially done, as LaFell threw 2 picks. Prescott didn't have a great game either, but they still got the win because they've got this animal here in the backfield. And Amir Abdullah had a pretty solid game against us. Balaj struggled. Drake struggled. This was not good at all. Receiving, Wilson had a touchdown. Stills had a decent game. But, I mean, a couple catches here for pretty much all our guys. But pretty much at this point, it's a season lost. So, 5-9 record. We're not getting anywhere anytime soon. We are here. Robert Quinn, 2.5. Godchek had 1, and Zadarius Smith only picked up a half sack. And the 2 INTs went to Mike Ford and Justin Coleman. So our slot and a backup corner here. And we got another upgrade. Madison, once again, is going to get slightly better, and I think we're going to go in the power department again and make him still 83 overall. And he gets a +1 to awareness and then coupled with the power. So he's getting there. Well-rounded player. We really need him to become a solid blocker, which he is. And we take another loss to the Bills. Offense doing a little bit better. Looks like the rushing game got going. Allen this time torched us, 4 touchdowns, no picks. LaFell tried to battle here, but I mean, not great numbers, but not bad. He didn't do terrible. And Allen just kind of went off. It looks like Marshawn Lynch had a solid day, not a lot of carries, and Balaj and Drake kind of split the carries, and Balaj gets a touchdown, and Boy had some nice runs there. Boyles gets 2 touchdowns and 7 catches, and Zay Jones has 5 for 84. Kenny still goes 5 for 71 and 2 touchdowns. And then just couple catches here by some other guys, not great numbers. Defensively, Thomas Davis again, or TJ McLeod leading us in tackles with Thomas Davis right behind him. Phipps and Baker both get some tackles. Our tackles for loss, we didn't get none. We got 2 sacks. Alonzo and Marshall gets 1. And then no INT, so great game from Buffalo. And wow, look at this record, guys. The Jets and the Bills are both 7-8. We could have a team go to the playoffs in the AFC with a losing record this year, especially because the Patriots are struggling without Tom Brady. And we get a couple more player upgrades here. So our backup quarterback gets an upgrade. He only requires 7,000. He is such a low overall. And we're going to go field general. And Keegan McKillop becomes a scheme fit here. His accuracies aren't great, but they could be worse for a backup. Chase Allen, one of the middle linebackers we just kind of signed for some depth. He's going to get an upgrade, and we're going field general and hoping, but he does not become a scheme fit. Not that I don't know if it's going to help at all this season. So some good upgrades here. And Gesick, after what I would assume is a pretty solid season, is going to get his first upgrade, and we are going to go. I guess we're going possession. So I want to get him a scheme fit before I work on some other stuff, as he gets a lot here. Catching traffic, pass block, pretty much almost blocking in every area, and some short route running. Did his catching go up? No, his catching traffic went up by 2, and his short route running. So not bad. I don't think his numbers don't jump off as like, oh my god, he's a great tight end, but pretty solid. And our rookie center gets another upgrade here, as it looks like we just need to work on him almost everywhere. He's a great pass protector. So what did we do last time? Last time we went power, so this time we'll go agile and get him a little better. He goes up to an 81, and 3 awareness, impact, and 1 pass block finesse. And our last game here, it looks like we take a loss to the Chargers, but we put up a fight. Only 60 yards of rushing, but really good passing offense. And they seem to struggle, but their running game apparently made up for it somehow, and they wind up getting the victory over us. Let's take a look and see. Looks like Rivers kind of struggled. Barkley came in and threw like a fake, it looks like. LaFell didn't have a great game. Got 305 with 2 touchdowns, but 3 interceptions on a lot of throwing, only 59% completion. Running the ball, Gordon had 15 carries for 62 yards. Drake 10 for 40. And Eckler came in with another 6 for 36 for them. And Balash came in for 9 for 20. Kind of bad there. Derek Watt got them a touchdown. Do we have any rushing? No, we did not. Receiving, Gesick, after, he doesn't look like a great tight end, but he plays like one, goes for 8 catches for 76 yards. Kenny Still goes for 7 for 56, and Devontae Parker 7 for 114. He's like, bring me back, coach. Albert Wilson gets 5 for 52. Who did our Stills and Wilson? So Stills finished the season out strong, but didn't start strong. And then defensively, Fitzpatrick and Thomas Davis with a lot of tackles here, and followed up by Baker. Tackle for loss, we got Baker again and Harris. Sacks on the game, 1 by Robert Quinn, and interception, 1 by Fitzpatrick. And with that being said, the Bills did make it to 8-8, which could have been bad if they would have went. I mean, if they still would have made it, but 7-9, it would have looked kind of miserable going into the playoffs. Even though 8-8 doesn't look all that great either. So let's look at some yearly awards. Matt Ryan was the MVP, followed up by Phil Rivers in second. Mariota, Breeze, Goff, Watson, Mayfield's up here, Trubisky, Nemo the rookie, and Tolick is the rookie also up here. So I was going to say maybe we have a chance to get Rookie of the Year, as here's our Coach of the Year was Lynn. And of course our guy's not up here. But let's do NFC first. I was hoping maybe we could get like Rookie of the Year, because LaFell started all the games. I'm sure his numbers are decent, but it looks like Tolick had an amazing season, so we're not going to get AFC Rookie of the Year. Matt Ryan and Breeze, Nemo's up here. Defensive leads Khalil Mack and Danny Trevathan, so really good defense there for the Bears. Offensive rookie Nemo, I want to see his number. I want to see Hoffman too, so I got to remember Nemo and Hoffman's numbers. And I don't know, we might look around just to see if there's really any kind of like standout rookies. We might check out Whitworth. He got defensive rookie over here, if I can remember. QB was Ryan. Running back was Elliott. Wide receiver was Jones. Zach Martin got O-line. Got Dominican Sue, D-line. Khalil Mack, of course, linebacker. Defensive back, Pat P. And Daniel Carlson gets kicker. So let's look at now our division. So offensive player of the year, a couple guys here that you wouldn't expect, like Mariota, Watson down playing good, Rivers. Tolick made it up here. But Tolick must have had a really good season outperforming Baker Mayfield. So we definitely got to check Tolick's numbers out too. Defensive player of the year is Schobert, Garrett, Brown. So our offensive rookie of the year, of course, goes to Tolick. It looks like Craig Flower. I might have to look at him on the Raiders and see what position he plays. Wall, Lake. I mean, this is looking really bad. Our guy did not even make top 10, which I thought he might have had a shot to. Defensive rookie, Raiders again. So Raiders are going to have to check out some of their rookie numbers. Colts get a good safety, or not safety, a good defensive player again. And once again, no Dolphins on here. Best QB, Rivers. Tolik, man, he's going to get a huge upgrade, I would assume. As none of our guys just really performed well. Maybe O-line, but I'm not even expecting that with how bad the team just performed overall. Yeah, as you can see, we got nobody going on here. I'd be shocked, absolutely shocked, if we have Robert Quinn get 5th on D-line. So Quinn might make the Pro Bowl, but I'll still be shocked if we have any Pro Bowlers. Just not a whole lot going on for our team. Because we struggled in one area, that made a lot of areas struggle. Fitzpatrick gets 7th up here too. Kicker, not expecting, and that should be it. So the stats for our guys, I mean, Phil didn't have like a terrible season. If you look at his numbers, 3,400 passing yards, 23 touchdowns, 18 picks, 60% completion on 7.1. I mean, that's not like horrible numbers, but it's not like good. He's like an average beginning starting quarterback. We had just a running back by committee. Next year, I'm really going to try to fix this. Even if I've got to feature like Drake as the number 1 back. Gesick and Parker had some really good numbers here. I mean, even Wilson, pretty much our top 4 guys. And Kenny Stills came on strong at like the end of the year. He struggled for touchdowns for a while and had a couple really big games. So not bad numbers here, but definitely not like a standout player. Defensively, Baker and Davis get quite a lot of tackles. Tackle for losses, we have 14, 11, 10, and 10, so that's decent. Here's the big numbers: sack 11 for Robert Quinn and 6 for Harris. Keem Spence got 3. Gotchek. Marshall got 1 in there. Darius Smith in his last 3 games got a half sack. So I wasn't expecting a lot because he didn't really get a chance to get into the lineup. Playing good, he came in when the season was already pretty much over. Mika Fitzpatrick, our leading interceptor, followed by Xavier Howard and TJ McDonald. Both of his are in the game against the Bills being watched. And they were both in the red zone, 1 in the touchdown, or 1 in the end zone. And a couple more here from each of these other guys. And let's see if we had any big hitters. 4 fumbles. We had 3. So that is that. We're going to go to the Super Bowl, and then we'll be coming back and let's do upgrade players. So we're here. So here's the guys, and we get the rookie backup center is going to get an upgrade here. And let's go with power. And he upgrades 3. He gets pretty good upgrades. Gets himself a little boost here. Looks like he gets another, so he must have made it as like a long snapper to the Pro Bowl or something. Must have completed some kind of weird goal for him. So let's look at his ratings again. Yeah, I mean, he's still got one that's in the 60s, since it was a 68, so hopefully we can adjust and fix that here. Run block power, and that's what he needed. Now he's 70 everywhere. Starks was our starting right guard, or right tackle actually. So pretty solid run blocker, terrible pass blocker. So let's bring his pass block up. Not beat around the bush, just straight pass block, get better. And he goes up by 1 in each area, so not bad. So he improved a little bit. Backup Green gets some XP here. And just not a zone coverage corner. We'll give it to him to see if it helps him out, but probably not returning to our team with that low zone coverage. And then Mika Fitzpatrick, our superstar cornerback. 85 zone, 90 speed. He's still really young, got that superstar, doesn't require a lot of XP. And I want to go zone one more time. Hopefully slot doesn't go up too much. He gets some good good upgrades there. See, like, slot is just right there with. So we're jumping on the Pro Bowl roster here. Let's take a look. NFC. None of our guys. Mayfield makes it this year along with Watson. Still none of our guys. Nope. Baron Jenkins, Hunter Henry, Vance McDonald, Staley, LeBlanc. Oh, that was that left tackle. I think the Jets took him. Look, he turned out to be an absolute monster himself. He's already at 90, which means he just was excellent as a rookie. He had superstar development. Still none of our guys here, not even our center, our right guard. No pass rushers. Yeah, see, with Watt and Bosa on left end, Garrett and Ingram on right, like, there was no way that Cleveland was going to make it with 11 sacks. As Atkins, Hurst, Ogunjobi, Miller, Milan, Walker, Schobert, Hightower, Tovin Smith, Conley, King, Ward, another Smith here, really low rated. Marcus May and Chris Get It, Joseph, Boyer, Tucker, Townsend, Duke Johnson, and Edwards. So, if no Pro Bowlers, just as I expected. So for the Cardinals, we wanted to look at Roy Hoffman, and looking at Roy Hoffman's numbers, honestly, I think our quarterback did better. I mean, I guess he didn't throw as many interceptions. Our guy threw 18. We threw 24. We threw for almost more yards. We had more yards per game. So it's not like Hoffman destroyed our quarterback's numbers. Nemo, though, had amazing numbers. He throws for 4,300 yards, 32 touchdowns, and breaks Mayfield's record for touchdowns. Only 12 interceptions, 62%, 271 games for 7.5. Really good numbers here for Nemo. Tolik playing almost on Nemo's level, 4,500 yards, 32 touchdowns, only 12 interceptions. Hold on, we're going to look at Nemo. So they tie 32 and 12 for each, and both set the rookie record for 12. 64% completion and 283, 8.4 an attempt. Craig Flower, their running back, was up there for, I think, Rookie of the Year, so he had decent numbers here. And I think Dalton Hamilton, their middle linebacker, was also the one up there for the Raiders, having some really good numbers as a rookie. So let's take a look at the NFL leaders. Matt Ryan gets it for yards. Touchdown goes to Ryan, and Mayfield throws for 38. Look at these interception numbers, like 12, 14. Okay, those medium amount, but like 6, 4 here for Drew Brees, 6 for Big Ben, not only 9 for Matt Stafford. Alex Smith throws only 7, Bortles only throws 9, Garoppolo throws 9, Luck throws 6. And there's some guys here who have higher numbers, like LaFell. We're going to check and see. Well, see, Allen is here more. But Derek Carr, Sam Darnold, even Kirk Cousins. I mean, he didn't throw a lot of touchdowns, but they didn't throw a lot of picks either. The most picks goes to Josh Allen, followed up by LaFell, and then Lamar and Andy Dalton. So, rushing yards goes to Ezekiel Elliott, beating the next guy by almost 500 yards. He only put up 5 touchdowns, which is shocking. Is there like a guy that sniped them all off? Amir Abdullah got 11 on barely any carries. David Johnson, good season. Kamara, Telvin Coleman, now he's a feature back. Or Tevin Coleman, now he's a feature back. Freeman's numbers are okay. Gordon, Mixon, not bad here. Receiving, most catch goes to Michael Crabtree. Really having a resurgence. Julio Jones and beating out Crabtree for yards. See all the 1,000-yard receivers. Hopkins, Allen, Jones, Hill, Gordon really had a good season with a rookie going 4 touchdowns. Davis, Antonio Brown, Michael Thomas, Gerald Everett, Odell Beckham, Alshon Jeffrey, Tajay Sharp, Zay Jones, Calvin Ridley, Mike Williams, and Mike Evans. Touchdowns go to Michael Crabtree. He led almost, I mean, besides receiving yards, he was second, but almost everything. Moncrief had 13, good season for him. Aguilar, Williams, and again, not a lot of double-digit interceptors this year. Top tackles goes to Antonio Walker. Top sacks, Myles Garrett had 18, Mack had 16, and Kennard had 13. Lawrence is up there with 13, 11 from a couple guys, and then a couple with 10. And look, that's crazy. Like, he got 11. Where's Bosa? Because Bosa beat us out for the Pro Bowl spot. Maybe it's just not counting. We'll go check the charges here and see exactly how many Bosa had. Because I didn't see him skip over. And our leading interception was Patrick Peterson still getting it done. So let's go look at the charges real quick on defense and see how many Bosa did have. Bosa had 11 himself. So see, they weren't showing up. And Ingram had 15 who didn't show up. And as you can see here, the Super Bowl is going to be between the Saints and the Texans. Very nice. So the wild card, the Texans were a wild card and beat out the Jags. Dallas beat Chicago. The Bills, who were 8-8, beat the Steelers. And the Giants make it with Nemo and beat the Cardinals. Followed up by the Chargers crushing the Bills, rightfully so. The Redskins beat the Cowboys. The Redskins must have had a nice season. We'll check our records here at the end of this. The Browns lose to Houston, and then the Giants lose to the Saints as Houston edges out the Chargers, and it looks like the Saints really kind of just rolled over Washington to leave us with the Saints and Texans matchup here. Standing-wise, yeah, the Redskins were the best seed, followed by the Chargers, Saints, Browns, Bears. Rams missed the playoffs because of that. I mean, not that. I mean, that's the other division, but that's just shocking. We scroll through here, and we can see we're pretty far down. We're going to have, I don't know, top 5 pick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Top 4 pick here, so not bad. But we'll see how that goes. As let's get through the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl goes to the New Orleans Saints with 393 passing yards. Just an offensive, not an offensive shootout, but a throwing shootout here. As we have a total of like 750 yards put up. Deshaun Watson, not a bad game, and Breeze gets himself a Super Bowl before maybe retirement. We'll have to wait and see. And Watson, I mean, numbers weren't bad here, especially, I mean, he didn't make a lot of mistakes, not a lot of incompletions. The running game really struggled here, just no one could get anything going. As Josh Hill has a really big game, Michael Thomas has a big game, Demaryius Thomas had a nice game, and Traquan Smith goes off here. And then defensively, the sacks, Merciless got some pressure, Jordan got a pressure, and a couple other guys here. And the one pick went to Drake Patrick, but they just could not edge out Drew Brees, really wanting one more Super Bowl. So we got 23 players to negotiate some contracts with here. I'll be doing this in like an off-season episode. Not a lot of players I'm really wanting to see here. Like this is ridiculous. I'm not paying you $10 million, LaFell. Even though you were starting quarterback for us, you're not getting $10 million. So we'll come back and go through this as in next episode as the offseason and free agency starts. Let's check out some retirements here, though. As you see, 10 Ginn calls it quit. Max Unger retires. Vinatieri's gone. Marshawn Lynch hangs it up. Lorenzo Alexander. Eli finally retires after Nemo had a great season. Calais Campbell says bye. Andy Lee. Delanie Walker. Marshall Yanda. Eric Weddle. Keep Talib. Chris Long. And Julian Edelman. Ryan Khalil. Greg Olson, Adrian Peterson, and Thomas Davis retired for us, so we did not get neither one of them back. Cameron Wake calls it quits. John Ryan, some other players here that aren't really big names. So there's retirements. So yeah, next episode we'll come back. We'll negotiate players. We'll get into week 1, and we will see what goes on. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll be back later here in the next day or two to start the off season and really try to make some improvements to this team just to get a lot better kind of all over so we can start actually winning some games. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you leave a like, hit the subscribe button, and we'll be back shortly with some more Madden 19 in the offseason. So thank you very much and have a great day.